Hello everybody, I'm Betsy. Welcome back to my channel. I wanted to share with you today some cards I made, and in the process I made a huge alcohol ink marker mess, and I wanted to camouflage it, so I put the camera on and thought, well, what better way than to share with you how you can camouflage your alcohol ink marker mistakes. So if you joined me in the last video, I was talking about how I tried the new Stampin' Up markers, alcohol ink markers, and I love them. I really do like them, but I didn't have a black. So I went to Blix and I bought a black Copic, and I don't like the end that I used on it. It was a chisel end, and I didn't pay attention when I was pulling it out of the display case to make sure it was the brush tip end. And so it ended up making a mess. And what I did was I went ahead with my colorless blender, which is really an eraser, and just tried to push that color back into these images. And then I remembered that whenever I make a mess, when I'm coloring in general, if I re-stamp the image, that'll help. But with this one, I knew it was going to take more, and so I decided that I was going to emboss this image, and that's why you saw me throw that powder down, which is actually really embarrassing. That's deodorant powder that you're supposed to use on your pits, but I don't have my static pouch, which I have now broken down and ordered. So in the meantime, I got to use that. So anyway, I'm using a clear pad there, pigmented pad, and then I'm just embossing with straight up black. I don't like to have a whole bunch of different embossing colors. This is why I use my embossing, is usually to help me color in the lines or fix little mistakes. You wouldn't want to emboss before you did your alcohol ink coloring, just because I'm not entirely sure it's real safe with alcohol ink markers. And oftentimes I will emboss and I'll mess with the nips. So I like to do it after, and I've never done this before, but it does work beautifully with alcohol ink. I mean, I've never re-stamped over alcohol inked images before. I've done this technique before, but not with alcohol ink, and it worked out really nicely. So once I do that, I'm a little bit nervous because I can't quite see the ink because it's clear, of course. I'm just gonna dump off some of my embossing powder on it, and you can empty the whole entire container on it because you're going to save it all anyway. And this is what made me think I need that static foam pouch, because as you can tell, it got off of some of the images, but that's okay. That's why I ordered it. But look how much better that is now. And I knew that once I went ahead and did the die cutting on it, it would be just fine. And it ended up being really, really cute. So I am going to die cut next on this, and then you're going to join me in this process once I get these all die cut out. And stick around because I have a question for you. I need some advice on something that I wanted to make and didn't quite get around to. I couldn't figure it out. So make sure that you stick around so you can help me figure that out. Couple things. First of all, I like to do all of my die cutting at one time, and sometimes when you're dealing with such little pieces, they can get lost. So as I'm die cutting, I am collecting them all in my MISTI, and that just allows me to keep track of them because I can put a lid on it and then also transport it back to my workplace. All right, these are the pieces that I cut out, and I'm not going to use all of them, but I just wanted to see what they were. Like this one, I wasn't quite sure what these pieces were. However, upon further investigation, I discovered that you can actually pretend like this isn't colored, and do a colander like that, one on each side. So that's what those are. They're the handles for this. This right here I believe that this is supposed to be like a wooden type spoon that goes in there, but I thought it would also be kind of fun to take one of these bottles and have the bottle pouring in the liquid. I might do something with that. And then we have, at first I was like, well, what the heck are these? And then it's like, oh, I know what these are. You're gonna color those up, and then they go right here. They're like the guts of the bottle. And the same thing for this one. These little ones go, half circles go in this little half circle like that. So I'm like, oh, okay. So not sure how much of this I'm going to use. I have plans. Something else is I was really worried about how these would turn out because, as you know, I made a huge mess as I was playing, and I love it. Those turned out so good. Secret is, really, if you use alcohol ink and you don't like what it's looking like, go ahead and try to, use your color blender, which is really the eraser. And then if you just emboss around that image again, it really camouflages nicely. I'm going to shade these in, and I don't have brown ink with me. So I'm going to use Daffodil Delight, Peach Pie, and Pumpkin Pie to do this little piece right here. And then for this piece and this piece, I just pulled out my alcohol marker. And this one is, well, okay, I'm having a brain fart because usually the color is listed on the side. Anyway, it looked like it'd be a good one. And then for this, I pulled out my green apple, and then I have lemon lime twist, but I think I'm gonna stick to this. I wanted to share with you something else before I got into this, and I'll do that in a second. So for this one, all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take this and color it in. It'd be fun if I could blend it in like some ink, but I don't have that, and we're just gonna make it work. And again, these are the alcohol markers I went over in the last video that Stampin' Up! Has. And I actually went to Blick and purchased Copic, and I got a chiseled end instead of a brush end, and I don't like it. So I am really impressed with these alcohol markers. I love this end and this end as well. So I'm a happy camper with these, and I love that they're a lot less expensive than the Copics. Okay, so those two pieces are done and ready. And now I'm just gonna take my blending brush, and again, I think I'm gonna do green apple for this. And so pop it open, slide it, fingers not dirty. I do appreciate this lip right here. And I'm just gonna take and, start blending it in like so. And this is going to go over my colander. I think that's what it's called. Okay, so I'm just blending that on through until I get the shade, the depth of the color that I want. And I kind of do want like the edges. And so, oh, I love that. I can just tap it on there. Look at that. That's awesome. Okay, so here we go. I really wanted to darken that up. Okay, I think I'm liking that now. I like the variation in that. So this is, I'm actually gonna put, so these, I'm not real happy with this one. I love this one. So for sure, I'm gonna take this and I'm going to put this little Juma Flunky right over this. All right, it's gonna spill out, and then I'm going to have probably like my bird over here, something like that, okay? Or I could do my cat, whatever. I wish that it was longer. but it's not. So, oh well, that's okay. I'll make it work. Then for this one, okay, I can put this one up here. I'm just gonna take, and I need to rinse that off eventually. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try something that I haven't done before. Just gonna take, click that back up. I'm gonna take some of my cleaning, like stamp cleaner that's made to clean ink off, and I'm just gonna run it through, and holy smokes, that worked. Wow. So, stamp cleaner works on these. Why wouldn't it work? It's created to remove ink. Don't know why I didn't think of that sooner. Okay, so now for this one, I think that I want it to be more of like a yellowish, like this peach pie. I think I want it to be more like this. So yeah, for sure. For sure. Okay, I like that. That's cute. That looks great. Okay, I'm very happy with that. That was easy enough. So now what I'm going to do is I can assemble this like so, right? There we go. I mean, I'll get it assembled off screen, but pretty cute. All right, so I'm gonna take these up here. The other thing I wanted to show you was, if you're like, well, Betsy, what do I do? Do I stamp first and then die, or do I die cut first and then stamp? Well, it's really up to you, but I will tell you this. If you decide to stamp after you die cut, let me show you a little trick. What you're gonna do, and you have to have your MISTI for this, or else it won't really work, okay? So let me move all of this stuff out, because see, when you run, the risk that you run when you stamp first and then die cut is this: you get it off center, and that's no fun. So I really know better. Like, I should have definitely die cut everything out first and then stamped, but I hadn't played with this yet, and so I wanted just to see what some of these shapes were, because I was unaware. But now that I know, and hopefully if you end up getting these too, you can just use my my video as you're learning and not have to go through. Hopefully I saved you the time on figuring out what these all were, right? And this is from the Potions and Spells, again, from Stampin' Up. So what you can do, if you don't know, if you want to die cut first and then stamp, let me show you exactly how to do that, okay? Sorry, I should have this all moved out of the way, but I didn't. All right, almost there. Got my bubbles. I originally was gonna stamp these bubbles, but then I thought, you know what? I think I like them white, and I think I can do a really light green mist in the background to have them floating up in. So I'm not gonna do that. So I'm gonna show you how to do it like this. All right, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your dyed sheet that you dyed everything in, right? And then you are going to take and put in the stuff that you want to stamp, okay? So let's say that I wanted to stamp that bubble. I pop the bubble in. Then what I do is I take out my coordinating bubble, which I think is this one. I line it up, so I'm gonna face it more towards me so I can see. Sorry guys. So I'm gonna take it like this. I'm gonna slam it into the corner. I'm gonna take this. Then I'm gonna take this bubble and I'm just gonna line it up exactly over the die cut image. Then once you get it down, you just boom, take this, ink it up, stamp it out, you're good to go. And then you can do multiple. So once I got done stamping this, I could go and pop another one in and just keep going and going. That way you're more certain to get a good stamped image versus something like this, okay? There are ways, I was being lazy with this. I was in a hurry. I am gonna trim that up, make it look better. But there are ways that you can also line it up perfectly when you go ahead and run your thin cut with it. One thing you can make sure you do is use a magnetic mat. That'll help hold it in, and then also masking tape helps hold it into place as well. I just got into a hurry and there we go. All right, so I'm going to go assemble some cards and I'm going to show you the finished project. I don't think that you really need to see me assemble the cards. I don't want to waste your time, but I just wanted to share those little bits of information. All right, I made 2 more cards and I wanted to make 3, but I couldn't figure it out. So let me show you the 2 that I made, and then I'm going to show you what I'm left. And I'm going to let you kind of tell me what you would do with this last one, because I started to get into this mode of, oh my gosh, I have to make a card because I have to do a video. And it's like, wait a minute, no, I don't. I don't want to start to force my creativity like that. So this is the first one that I did. And it is, I love it. I think it's super cute. I did have a little bit, I had some wilted violet and I went in and then there's some harsh marks and I was like, oops, but I love how it turned out. I think it's super cute. I love that since I went back and embossed the crow, he really pops and he looks great. I added a little bit of stickles to this, clear stickles, and also to this portion here. I popped on the Pocus from this stamp onto here and put on some little gems out of this that I got off of Amazon. And I just kind of layered it up. I used my dimensional honeycomb adhesives. I love these. I like that these are black too, so when you turn it, it's not like real obvious down there. I don't know if you can tell. Sometimes when you turn them, you can tell. So this is the first one, and I'm like, that's gonna be really hard to beat because that's super cute. And then I made this one, and this is a piece of gel press paper that I made. And I saw it and I'm like, huh, that'll match. And then I used a embossing folder that I got to create some different cards from the shopping one that I did. So I don't know if you guys remember this video. It was one of the first ones I did. It's this embossing folder. And I'm like, I bet if I use some pumpkin pie and then embossed it and then just put black ink over it, it'd be cute. This is old paper, don't care about. Did the wilted violet on that, popped him on, and then did gems here. But then you open it up and look how cute this center is. So this piece is actually the same as this piece. I really, really like it. I think this is my favorite card. So I think that that's really cute. Really cute. So I wanted to do something with this card right here. And you know that I made like 3 other card bases in the last video, and this one I thought I was going to do something with, but I'm just not inspired right now. So I'm going to set this off and perhaps use it later, but I'm not going to stress myself out with that at this point in time. Oh, and also on this one, do you see how the bubbles are sparkly? And I just went over with some of that. It is the lemon lime twist on that. Just went real light with that. There we go. So I really love that. Okay, sorry. I just really love this card. So anyway, for this one, I thought it would be cute to do on the bottom here, like get some of these cute bottles up, you know, and like layer it up so it's kind of peeking out of the bottom. And so do like the cat on one end, and then do this spell books and potions on the other with the bird, and then do these down here. But the problem is I don't like what it looks like. So I thought, well, scratch that. I'll do Happy Halloween on the bottom, a very simple sentiment, and then do like all of the white matte here, like the white paper. So I'll have Happy Halloween down here, and then whatever sentiment up here, and then this would be my focal point. So I was like, well, I could do something with the broom, with the cat on it, and then I'm like, well, what if I do these? And I can't come up with it, you guys. So give me a suggestion. How would you finish this card off? I'm not really going to freak out about it either. I know I created all these pieces and they're super cute. But what I like to do is, until I have my stroke of genius hit me, I'm just going to put all of these pieces just in here with this. And so the next time I open this up, they're going to be ready to go for me. And I won't lose them. I won't have to recreate them. They're totally there and ready to rock and roll. And now I'm done. And so I feel good about this. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, learned something new maybe. If you're interested in this set, it is available now through Stampin' Up. I do have my link provided for you down below, so make sure you check it out. I am selling more so to myself, so it does help me out. And I will chat back with you guys next time. I think the next thing I'm going to play with is going to be this one. Can't tell you when I'm going to get this out. I had every intention of releasing a video every week this week with this, but I just, I'm not quite there yet. Like, I don't want to force my creativity. All right, until next time, happy crafting.